Hi everyone, I'm Tanya Monique. I just wanted to come today and speak to you about a few things. Firstly, being the inner child. So, a lot of my work revolves around the inner child, and the inner child just, for me, it holds so much healing. And she can hold so much shame, so much unworthiness. And this can, until we face this part of ourselves, it can keep dragging us back, no matter how far up we reach. If we haven't faced this unworthiness in ourselves, this feeling that we are not good enough, or you might respond more to the words, this feeling that there's something inherently broken inside of you, or this feeling that there's something inherently wrong with you or bad about you. This comes from your inner child. And this feeling that something is, that there's this darkness inside of you, there's this badness inside of you, that there's this unworthiness inside of you, can filter everything. And no matter how far you try and run away from this, until you face this part of yourself, you will keep getting shown or reminded of ways that you are unworthy or that you are not good enough. And so the inner child plays a very important role in that and in healing. The inner child, the wounding of our inner child, she holds this part of ourselves that we have pushed away. For example, if as a child you got told that you were a dreamer, that you were off with the fairies, that you spoke too much, that you were annoying, that you didn't make sense, there's a whole list of things that you could have been told a lot as a child, or received that message that something was wrong with you because of that. And then our coping mechanism is we tend to hide this part of ourselves. Now, this part of ourselves is our magic. This part of ourselves holds the key to what we're here to do. It holds the key to our innate self, to our feeling whole, to that feeling of freedom by being connected to our magic. So if we keep trying to move past ourselves and um, ignore this fragment of ourselves, she's going to keep calling back to you. Quite often, the inner child comes up when we feel unsafe. So we often, when we've had trauma, we tend to find ways to cope with feeling unsafe. We get used to feeling unsafe. So we just find ways to sit in that feeling unsafe. And now is the time as an adult to look around you. And if you are, hopefully you're in this safe space where you can look around this room and say, oh my God, I am safe now. So to bring it back to the present moment, that you are safe now. And from this place, this is the first stepping stone to working with inner child, the inner child, is to do it from a place of, excuse me, my battery's going flat. I'm just going to plug it in. Oh, sorry about that. So is to do it from a place of feeling safe. That is the most important thing. We can't do this work with trauma, with the inner child, without feeling 100% safe in our own body. Because what we are essentially doing is we are reparenting this child. We are giving her all of the things that she's never had, and we're allowing such a safe container that she is free to come up, that she can put down just surviving, which is what a lot of people do in this world, this just surviving, just getting by, just trying to feel safe. So once we allow the inner child this space to feel safe, this container for her to break open into, she can express and expose the entirety of herself. And in this space is where we will come across the wounded child, the the one that holds all our shame from our trauma, from our pain, from our suffering, which we are meant to let go. We aren't meant to suffer and be in pain for the rest of our life. And this is why I do this work, because I've been from a background of experiencing trauma myself, and moving through the layers, it feels like maybe there's never going to be an end. Maybe we're never going to be happy. Maybe we're always going to be depressed. Maybe we're always going to be anxious. Maybe we're always going to feel like we're in pain and we're suffering. And I don't believe that that is true, because I've experienced it for myself. To come out the other end and have freedom, to be free of debilitating depression and anxiety, is just pure bliss in your mind. To have that freedom of your mind, to know that you are safe, and to allow your inner child to express herself. So she holds the key to your magic, right? You were given this magic. You came onto the earth field as a soul with this magic, this inherent magic that you didn't have to work for, that you didn't have to study for, you didn't have to train for. It come with you onto the earth plane. And as children, we are constantly told that the way we are is not good enough, is annoying, is, you know, how many times as a kid did you get told that you were dreaming, that that's not how the world is? And, you know, we're constantly told how the world is. You have to work hard, you have to train hard, you have to study to get anywhere, you have to sacrifice everything to make money. All those stories that we're told, we don't come in with those. We come in with pure magic and pure joy, and we allow others to put a cloak over this. So my work and my joy and my magic is to take you to this child who you might not want anyone to see, that you've never expressed, that you can't even face yourself, this part of you that you just think is so utterly terrible, utterly vile, utterly unlovable, that you can't look at her, and she holds your magic. So in this container of being able to see her through the eyes of the infinite, through the eyes of love, she's able to uncover her cloak, uncover her magic, and start moving through your life from her magic. So your inner child is the gateway to your higher self. She's, you know, you meet her at the start of your path, at the start of your journey up to meeting with your soul. And she holds the key. She has immediate access. But you can access this without totally dealing with that last final part of your inner child that you don't like. But from what I've experienced myself, is that if you keep trying to rise without looking at this part of yourself that you so disgust, nothing will work. And it will work to a certain point, and you'll feel this slapping back down where you're following your dreams, you're following your path, and your ego, because your ego, your wounded child is wrapped up in that, will bring you back down. So you'll constantly feel like you're taking 2 steps forward, 1 step back, because you're not dealing with the root. You're not dealing with integrating this magnificence of yourself. So you're not moving in a way that is totally congruent, because you still hold this little tiny belief that you are not enough, that there's something bad with you, that there's some part of you that's bad or wrong or not right or whatever it is. And you know, you have this feeling, and the reason why you're afraid to look at it is because you think that you're going to find something. You think that you're going to find something really disgusting about yourself or really bad about yourself. But from my experience is that it's not true. It's a belief that you hold about this part of yourself. And if you look at this part of yourself as a child, then, and if you think about a child, a small child, what could they possibly ever do? Even if it is deemed bad in society, that would be that bad and that unlovable. There is always love. And, you know, that's why I do this work, because I want to show you, I want you to see what I see or what other people see. I want you to see what the infinite sees, what your guides see, what your higher self sees, what your loved ones looking down at you see, whatever, whoever it is outside of yourself that you connect with. I want you to connect with that internally. I want you to feel that magic of your inner child. So if you're safe to do so, I'd like to just take you on a short journey to meet with your inner child. We're not going to do any work. We're just going to meet with her. So if you're free to do so, or if you're coming back afterwards, that's fine. Just closing down your eyes. Taking a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And just really sinking into your chair. Just breathing with a longer breath. And just feeling the weight of your body in your seat. Feeling your feet in the floor, on the floor, in your hands, in your chair if you need to. It's very important when doing this work, when meeting with your inner child, that you feel very present now, because you're asking your parent self, yourself to be present right now. So you are being the parent. And for some of you, that might be difficult. You might not know what that feels, but inherently you will if you tap into this space in your heart and making sure that you are present, because you are going to be present for this magical being of your own, your inner child, to come forward. So whenever you need, if you ever go back into a story or into an unsafe feeling, just pinching your hands, feeling your feet in the floor. You can have your hands on the chair, on the seat, and have a tight grip on your seat, or just wriggling your fingers or toes. We're just going to go into our heart space. And just in that space in your heart, just dropping in now. Letting your mind soften. Knowing that you are totally safe in this body, in this space. And dropping fully into this space inside of your own heart. If you're having trouble, you can just put 2 fingers or the palm of your hand at the center of your chest, signaling your intention to be here now. And in this space in your heart, I want you to imagine a vast space, a garden. And your garden may be currently full of beautiful flowers and trees, or it may be totally empty, and that is okay. Because we're going to create a sanctuary here for this child part of yourself. I want you to imagine flowers and trees, the colors that bring you joy, Might be a place that you've been before, place that you've seen in photos that just fills your heart with love, that feels safe. No one can get inside of this container. This bubble is secure, always. Allow yourself to sink into this safety of this place that only you can reside. Does it have trees? Does it have a river? Mountain? Does it need to be a large space? Or do you feel safer in a small, confined space? Does it have green, lush grass? Does it have wildlife or animals? Just keep expanding into this beautiful story inside of your heart. This is a place that you can come back at any time. You can add some more or take some out. This is your place. This is your garden inside of your heart. And if you are not visual, just feel into the feelings of safety and love that resides in this space. And once you have made this place, this comfortable, safe, warm place that is always inside of your heart, you see a bridge up ahead. And you walk over to the bridge and stand at the crossing. You see on the other side of the bridge a small child. She may be facing you, she may be excited to see you, or she may not even turn around. However she presents is perfectly okay. You step 1 foot onto the bridge and are surprised at how secure and safe this bridge feels. You have full trust in it, knowing that it will hold you. And you take another step forward onto the bridge and further still feel that sense of trust in being held. And another step onto the bridge, feeling safer even still. And you step off onto the other side. And you're standing right next to this small child. And you feel the energy off them. You know that it is you, even if you cannot see clearly. And just witnessing how your child is presenting. Is she jumping all over you with joy that she's getting to come face to face with you again, or maybe for the first time? Or is she angry? Is she angry that you've ignored her? Does she have her back towards you with her arms folded? Just take note of how she's presenting, knowing that it is all perfectly okay. And just ahead further still, you see a beautiful bench, ornate with detail. It could be a silk bench, a big cushy pink throne, an ornately jeweled gold bench, however it presents. And I want you to ask your little girl if she would like to go over and sit with you. She may take you by the hand. She may follow you over. Or she may be resistant and stay where she is. However it is perfectly fine. And you walk over to the bench. If she does not come straight away, that's fine. You still go to the bench and you sit there, holding space for her, allowing her to feel safe in your presence. She may not be easily trusting, and that is perfectly normal, as is if she's jumping all over you with joy. The key here is to let her feel whatever it is she feels without trying to change her, coerce her, force her to be or do something that she isn't right now, because that is what she's had done to her her whole life. And as you sit on the seat with her or without her, you feel your heart expand with love for this part of yourself, for this child. I'm just going to leave you here now to have a talk with her, to hold her, to ask her what it is that she needs. Now it's time to go. You can come back here as often as you would like. You can come back and pause this recording at this spot. You say goodbye to this part of you, or you may ask her to come back with you. Totally up to her. And you walk over to the bridge and take one step onto the platform, and another, and another, until you are back over the other side in your beautiful garden. Your garden that you can come back to whenever you need. You notice that you are back in the room, in the seat that you sit. You can wriggle your fingers and toes and come back to the room, to the space. Just sit in that gratitude you have for yourself, that love that you have for yourself. And if you've got some time right now, just journal what your garden looked like, what was in your garden, what did your child look like, what did the seat look like, did she come back to you, did she not, what was the message? Because it is really important that you write this down so that you remember it, because we tend to just let it flit off like a daydream. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you got something out of meeting your little girl, your magic, your inner child. Have a great day.